Hi, Duarte.
Hola Jesús, ¿qué tal?
Muy bien. Thank you very much for joining. We just jumped from the previous session discussing the open source stack experiences. Now we come to a similar topic. In your case, your company, a KNX member of the KNX Association, has developed a KNX IoT device based on existing system components. And your journey has been incredible. We can see this, we observe this as an association from joining us at the Light and Building with Twisted Pair devices to realize a KNX IoT device based on Thread has been quick, effective, and incredible. So, what a better scenario than than this event for you to showcase what you've done and maybe inspire others and show what you have accomplished. Just hats off.
Hi Jesus, hi everyone attending. It has been quite a race, to be honest. First, I want to take this opportunity to do something sometimes we forget. I should thank all the teams involved. So the KNX side, the A-Touch, Ricardo, Pedro, Emmanuel side, and obviously the Cascoda, our partner, development partner side, Bruno, Wouter, Ellie, Wolfgang, and so forth. It's been quite the amazing journey. These journeys you jump in head first is somehow sometimes intense. And the point is, I'm going to share a bit of a presentation to run a bit through the story of it all, so he has a bit of context. And in the end, unfortunately, Jesus, I will just say the obvious. It's textbook innovation. Yeah, but I'm gonna share now.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for sometimes we forget about it, but yes, to say thank you to those who have pushed this. You mentioned Cascoda, your company. You've been writing the first chapters of the history of KNX IoT, and we are thankful for having you on board.
Thank you. So I'm gonna try to share now the screen, right? And I'm gonna do a whole screen. Let me see if this makes sense to you guys. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, so in the end, I hope we have some minutes so we can talk a bit more openly as this is intended to for shared experience and all that. So just to give you a bit of an idea of what's our mojo, what's our feeling, how we see things. So we want to develop and produce and go to market with simple and easy to use products, okay? Specifically on smart buildings, houses, commercial, and so forth. We have this motto that's actually borrowed for Leonardo da Vinci, which is simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, meaning we want to keep it simple, okay? I'm not going to say the whole kiss, but it's keeping it simple, keeping it simple. So this from the perspective of the interface, the design, even the way we work every day, okay? And we do this, as I mentioned, leveraging in-house team. But when you see fast opportunities for fast development with collaboration, specifically we found this very, very, very good ecosystem within the KNX world. It was amazing, and we're going to share a little bit about this. We are obviously to be KNX certified ISO 9001, so we do strive for continuous improvement. An interesting thing, we did something disruptive, we did something new, but actually was for us and for Cascoda incremental improvement, innovation. So in that sense, sometimes we're not aware how little or cross innovation it's on all the books. Sometimes crossing some technologies over industries or adding small bits makes a very big difference, or combining the efforts makes a very big difference. And it's not, in the end, it's incremental from the company perspective or from the people perspective, not from the market perspective. So very fast. So we have injection molds, we do software, we do hardware, we design it all the way to user interfaces. On our other ranges, we have apps. We might be thinking one day to bring this also to the KNX ecosystem. Let's wait and see. I'm going to run fast. So a couple of pictures of our product, standard product running, the TP or otherwise. Most of all, within the KNX industry, we want to see it to be minimalist, as we said. We want the cats to be able to use it. Can you see the video? And this means we don't have icons, we don't have complicated interfaces. We like it simple. We're going to share a bit. I'm going to try to put here oops. I'm going to try to share here the pointer. Yeah. So tell me about a touch story, the path taken. So all the way to TP, KNX TP, just for you to get an idea. We started as renovations. So with wall modules and touch keypads, glass, high premium. Then we did a bit of centralized with 24-volt keyboards. And then in 2000, December 19, we bought a company, an M&A, that we wanted to do the Wi-Fi modules. So we wanted to bring the Wi-Fi back here. Okay, Wi-Fi being a commoditized and known technology, but so A-Touch Inter and Winwell merged into A-Touch and Well with the A-Touch and Donna brand, and this meant that we wanted this path, but we soon understood with COVID and other restrictions, so IC shortages and all that, plus the technology shortcomings of the Wi-Fi for this kind of industry made us obvious that we should stop what we were doing. We got the team, we got products, it was a successful M&A, but we didn't manage to attain one of the goals. It was to go wireless with our products for renovations. During COVID, with a shortage of chips, and therefore we kind of substituted some KNX shortage also of manufacturers. But we realized that why are we fighting this big ecosystem? How can we actually educate or create this market when so many manufacturers agree on a common path with KNX? And so we did in 2003 the KNX TP. And basically in Lightning Building, when we met the first time, Jesus and all the rest of the team, we managed for the TP range, so bringing the keyboards, all we had good and distinct, to the KNX world in March 2024. Going forward with this, and explaining a bit what we did there before we go and understanding how we get there. So this is a standard switch, and two lights plus one light plus one plus two shutters, so 4 shutters, and we can easily do that with the 4 keys plus the swipes. Our differentiation part mainly is the swipes, the glass, the high end, and that's what we brought for the TP. So we have unique selling propositions. We have differentiated points, but something else was brawling. Someone else was brewing in the conversation. So during the Lightning Building, pre-Lightning Building, we had these markets. Post-Lightning Building, we had opened some more markets. And May, already with the TP range, we had trade shows running with our products in India and other markets. So to show you a bit the differences of what's the impact of the TP. And most importantly, we understood during Lightning Building, we listened to what was happening, okay? We listened to those opportunities. And we kind of, couple of days, me and Ricardo were there talking to you, talking to Ufuk, talking to Bruno, talking to Heinz Lux, talking to Joost, and basically we saw an opportunity. We jumped onto it, not because we needed an opportunity, but because it really fit our competencies and our vision. Okay, so. And when I mean our, or your, in the sense, if you want to put it out there, it doesn't need to be all internal. But the fact is we found these competencies and this shared vision within the KNX ecosystem, okay? And we heard Mr. Just talking about the IoT. We saw the demo panel. We saw in our other panels, Kiskoda and all other people talking about the IoT. And it seemed like, basically, we were listening that the partner, the installer, were finding some hurdles in fast renovations, and the solution would be the fifth evolution, so the IoT. And keep in mind, we had just arrived into the KNX ecosystem, but we saw a new wave coming. You know, we saw that there was something brawling there, and then we really wanted to see that, how we fit into that. And the fact is, we knew it already, so we have failed it on the M&A strategy of doing this in Wi-Fi. And the most obvious resistance would be to fight and say, that won't work, Wi-Fi. We went through that, it didn't work, let's not do that mistake again. But we actually understood, we ticked all the checkboxes. So the technology was right, the IoT based on Thread with the Kiskoda, and I'll dive into that in a second. But the point here is that even the standards, the old standards for some renovations and the new EPBD mentioned here before, we're opening to new market opportunities and growth on these renovations. Our genesis, our origins, okay, what we tried and failed. And now we were within the KNX ecosystem, a recognized manufacturing ecosystem, 40% worldwide adoption. And we're seeing all the puzzles, all the pieces of puzzles fit together. And we know that no one in homes, commercial, hotels, installers, or KNX partners, no one wants the renovation to be long and messy, right? So it is our core. It was where we began. And we were in the middle of the KNX space in the association, so in a small display. And we saw all these hungry people and companies had been there much before us, hungry, showing amazing products, besides all the big stands apart, right? Another halls. But I did feel like overwhelmed, and it's a shark-infested water, meaning it's full of people, great engineers, thousands of man hours developing, and thousands of I'm overwhelmed now thinking about it. It was a shark-infested water, but a great one of that, with great ideas, with great segments within the KNX, with great perspectives on the market, on the products, and differentiated. So we really believe that if we pick the right partners, we could create our own blue ocean strategy. Now, this is a book, a very known book for strategy. It's a cliche even, okay? But that's what we believe we did. We created our own space in the industry, okay? Leading it, right? And because we are also understanding our own growth as a company, that different brands, different mindsets have different market segments and resistances. And this is also borrowed images from some books. I clear them out here. But the point is, different brands have different adopters and different resistors. And the fact is that KNX IoT solved the most of them and would be with the least resistance of them all. So it just made sense. On top of that, the legislator pushing for this to happen, or for this kind of technologies to come forth. So it just made sense. So as a result, with all the pieces of the puzzles, A-Touch had done the KNX, had specified, had moved from our protocol to KNX. So we know the endpoints, the DSTs, the data points, the functions, the objects. We are a manufacturer. We know all this. We went through this in the last 6 months. And we find this Cascoda guys, Bruno and Wouter specifically, which have done all the other part. They have the IC, they have the platformer for developers, and they have recently been creating with the KNX Association, the KNX IoT stack. So they're experts. So we have a certified C module. We have our touchpad components on KNX already, and we need a communication layer with a platform for development that Cascoda can provide. And to be honest, the synergy, the energy, the fit was so good that within still in the second or third day of Lightning Building, we were calling our hardware engineer to say, look at this layout of a footprint of this Cascoda chip. Not specifically this one because it doesn't have double side. Bruno won't let me forgive if I say this like that. And we were seeing the footprint and if you could design. So in the first week still in the week of Lightning Building, we were looking at the footprint and how we would put it within our product range. In 2 weeks, we had 5 working prototypes in each company, in Cascoda and iTouch, to move on with development. And on top of that, we understood we would inherit the certifications and the fast application for certification. So we had a winning team. We just needed to focus on making it happen. And that's what we did. Basically, we brought our user interface, our keypads, with our unique selling proposition, and plus with the output on the back of the keypad, because that's what truly makes a renovation, right? That what really works is that we have now the 2 on off, so 2 relays on the outside on the part, and or a shutter you can choose, and you can make renovations in the local. Local in one day. By this I mean, after you prepare on the lab, whatever the KNX partners really like to do this, prepare all the setup, and then you go into the job site and just replace everything already pre-programmed. So in one day, a small house, a medium house, office can be renovated like this without rewiring, without none of that. And to be sharing this, I think KNX already shared this because they're doing it with Futurajos and Semavi specifically, putting some energy into that. They went to Spain to start and prepare the tests for our certification, which started last week. To sum up really fast the product before we go into the development part, especially because I said it's textbook. This enables for direct replacement of conventional switches. Okay, this brings a wall actuator in the back. Layers and layers of encryption and communication via KNX secure IPv6 encrypted thread and so forth. Mesh via thread, meaning and with the antenna outside the wall. So guaranteed connectivity, no need for repeaters. Frequency-wise, applicable in all global markets. And as you know, I mentioned, and it's obvious for any KNX installer, or should be by now, KNX IoT works in DTS just as any other layer, any other format of communication does. So it's transparent. It's business as usual for all the KNX partners. So from the installer or the end user, it is business as usual. From the perspective of the renovation, it's much easier. From security, much easier. From functionality, brings what you need. And so we did, at the invitation of KNX, specifically users, thank you, as the KNX Association startup logo brand, we were invited as speakers on the World IoT Solutions World Congress. And we showcased the first prototype, working prototype, turning on and off, following outputs with the LEDs and all, in 7 weeks time. So it was an amazing speed. We had 6, 7, 8, 9 people involved, 9, I think, by people involved almost on a daily basis to make this happen. And from different teams, from different perspectives, from different communication needs within the KNX, within the Discord, within the Touch. And we showcased it working, and we actually did it on a power bank in a way that we could see that it was communicating wirelessly. But it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be 230 or 110 powered. Okay. So now what we saw from that initial thing is that we actually managed to do the KNX IoT Secure for renewals as a first mover. Okay. And so we're completing this path we've began in 2015. So it was just the right puzzle with the right partners. KNX gave us a bit of a stage, and we thank you very much for that. And as I'm going to go back to this image, pre-KNX, post-KNX, post-IoT story. Okay, so for the growth of the company, and these are markets we're opening, these are samples we're sending. We're not, the IoT is going to be for sale really soon, it's not yet. But the point is that we are doing all this branding. And I'm going to tell the story. I shouldn't in KNX environment, but I'm going to tell it. Vietnam called us up after seeing all the KNX IoT buzz, asking for our standard range. And we were very confused about that because we didn't spend a dime on that. So the spillovers of innovation, of success stories, of the right partners, of this ecosystem of KNX, and specifically KNX Startup IoT, it has amazing spillovers, even for countries that we never planned to go and that now are asking us for all kind of options. So on the TP and IoT, we're basically done the TP and the TP with all its screen and messaging. And now the next day, obviously, the next thing to be doing would be the thermostat. We were leading this conversation already and putting it out there. Also, I want to make clear that we have new ideas in the pipeline. I can't share them right now, obviously. But most of all, some are coming from some industry experts that we met recently, as MCS from Portugal, that has been part of the KNX National Group, Miguel. Others from training centers and certification labs, which I can't name, I shouldn't name because I didn't ask to, but the point is the KNX ecosystem keeps on giving us ideas, keeps on being very, very, very productive, very, very innovative mindset. And what I can tell you is we're going to keep on listening and try to bring innovation to this ecosystem, as we found we can really add to this. Now, Jesus asked me to share development tips and going forward. And as I said, first, it needs to be aligned. It needs to be the right piece of the puzzle. This is on every innovation book, okay? And once you live it, like we did in several occasions, but this one specifically, it is textbook. It is as described. Once you live it, you understand that it is about right partners, shared vision, and going for the wild ride. Okay. The thing I think it's most important on this is that your partners have skin in the game. Okay. And this means everyone is looking for success. Everyone wants this to work, and not just as providers and so suppliers and clients, but rather as true partners that really have skin in the game. Okay. Um, I would also say that it can't be just an idea in a trade show. You need to start getting the feedback from the team, getting involved. Okay. People are working with you, need to understand what your vision is, and you should share them the vision. Okay. It's also been studied in all the books, and there's visual aids for this kind of thing. But after you share with your team and sell the idea or try to sell the idea, then you actually need to buy it. Okay, so you need to get the inputs. And unfortunately, grow and truly understand the scope. So, what is many times from a manager perspective of technology, the perspective of the market, it is not dissociated from the perspective from the team and from the technology. And so, with their input and their feedback, the teams are now you're getting their buy-in. Okay, you're getting their inputs. And obviously, during that, you need to identify red flags, and there are going to be red flags. Just create a way or expect them to exist and create a way how to mitigate them. Even if, and that's a very big if, it means delays and costs. No one wants that. No one wants that upfront. No one wants to assume that, but there's always that, because it is ultimately development is iteration, right? It's a process you don't get right at the first time every time. So you need to understand that there will be delays and new costs. It is easier just to accept it and create how to mitigate and how to be prepared for those and to support the team. So as we did, we get the toys in their hands. So we built the prototypes, we built the momentum, the inner energy. We made it really happen fast. So we got momentum on this. We got the commitment of all the teams involved via scope definition, documentation, sign, and all that, internally, externally. We understood, as I said, it's an iterative process. So it means frustration and work for all the team members, not for our side, their side, partner side, even standardization, so KNX side. It takes energy and conviction. So you need to believe in it, and everyone needs to be in it for the win, skin in the game again. And run very fast, support all during the process, and accept failure is most likely the outcome or not. So we did fail with the Donna Wi-Fi, bringing it to the touch standard range, but we were convinced and believed in the teams involved and pushed forward so that the outcome from KNX IoT was a success. Okay. This is innovation. Innovation is not an easy process. Everyone that wants to get new products knows this. Industry experts know this. Just be prepared and power on. So thank you. Your questions, Jesus, if you want to now bring it home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm smiling through your presentation. For so many years, we've been talking about KNX IoT. And today we see people talking about open source stack, how they've been playing with it. We see companies like yours that can share their real experience developing a KNX IoT device. I just put in the group in the chat that these tips are gold. Your experience. Thank you also for sharing with us your journey with the KNX Association and embracing the KNX IoT. And your experience with Cascoda. This is a real success case study, and we hope to see your progression to the top. You are already there, but you can do a lot more, and we are happy to see your journey within our ecosystem. So thanks a lot for sharing this info. We have a comment here. Oh yeah. Did you migrate from TP to KNX IoT? That was a hardware redesign required, or was just software activities?
So getting a bit into that. So on the TP, we have the BCU plus the keypad. And we wanted to bring the wall actuator module, not the BCU on the back. So with the Cascoda chip, we brought it to the processor to the front. And so, yes, we redesigned the keypad and we used an existing CE certified wall module. We would always need to redesign because we were using a chip that was not the standard one we use on the BCU. The BCU used the ST, and here we were using Cascoda. But the point here is that, let's say, all these specification objects and scope were the same for the KNX side of things. And so forth, it was done recently by us. So obviously we added the shutters we don't have on the BCU because the BCU is a keyboard is an input. So the keyboard BCU is an input. The KNX IoT is an input and an output. And in that sense, it was a shared experience or a cumulative experience that we brought from the TP from perspective of scope, of definition, of KNX. And then Cascoda brought the experience with the stack and implementing our requirements, okay? So the platform that Cascoda created for this is really, really useful. You can, I believe you need to talk to them, not me, but people can use their full platform. People can hire them for bits and pieces. So it's about finding the right mix for your company or for your development. And I advise you to speak with Cascoda on that. From our side as manufacturers, it's about having some pieces already made, some puzzles CE certified and ready, and knowing how to do this. So it is for every manufacturer, for every experience will be different. I don't have any doubts about it, but it was hardware plus firmware plus certification that KNX had to do test setups for our certification. So it was a whole lot of things for 5.5 months, with August in the middle of that in Europe.
Incredible. Totally incredible. But yeah, thanks a lot, because we need to switch to the next session. But so far, we could see last week through social media, KNX Association was announcing the registration of or the certification process of your product being now taken care of in Spain, in Futurasmus Test Lab. So it's a new experience for everyone, this KNX IoT product development certification, but it's happening, is real, and you showed us the light. So,
well, I used the light you had made to bring forth a reflection of that light.
So, well, thank you. All the best. We just wish you all the success. Thank you again I know you are busy. You are always traveling somewhere. So thanks a lot for making the time for this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.